A small dime bag of white substance was discovered in the West Wing of the White House on Sunday evening. US Secret Service spokesman confirmed this morning that testing shows it was cocaine. Now got President Joe Biden in the White House. So an investigation into how it got there is underway. The white powder was found during a routine search. Let's get into some of the details about this absolutely absurd story from ABC News. The cocaine was found on the ground floor of the White House near the West Executive entrance, where visitors are instructed to typically drop off their cell phones when visiting the White House. Some visitors are able to tour parts of the West Wing, and tours typically take place on the weekends. When asked if there were tours this past weekend, the Secret Service would not confirm that, saying these are details that are pertinent to our investigation and not something we can get into. Now, President Joe Biden and family members were at Camp David at the time the coke was discovered. So if you were wondering if it was Joe Biden's coke, the answer is most likely not. It was probably brought into the White House from a tourist who tossed it from a search. And we've got some more on this, but Francesca, what kind of person is getting lit at the White House? Like, honest to God, who's like, you know what would spice up my tour of the West Wing?
Yeah.
Some cocaine.
Yeah. I'm doing all the museums. I'm doing all the landmarks. I only have like 6 hours to do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, this person is like created this very short timeline for themselves to do everything. No, I love this because I also think it's a little bit like maybe Let's Go Brandon night, who's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sprinkle coke in the bathroom, and then everyone's gonna be like, Hunter Biden, and that's even funnier that someone would try to orchestrate a plant of cocaine on the Biden family.
I'm gonna believe this theory because I like to believe it. And honestly, Republicans were really quick to say, oh, it was probably Hunter Biden and to find a weird way to blame Joe Biden. So let's start with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh God.
Marjorie Taylor Feet, as I've been calling her after seeing that horrifying picture of her toes. On this July 4th, it has been confirmed that the white powder found on Sunday in the White House has tested positive to be cocaine. Is this rock bottom yet, or how much worse is it going to get? Honestly, though, can I just say for a second, so many presidents have had like affairs in the Oval Office, but some person who went on a tour sprinkling cocaine is rock bottom. I think, there were slave auctions held where, in DC right outside the White House. This is rock bottom. I mean, rock bottom.
It's crack rock. I was just gonna say crack rock bottom. I was also gonna say people in powder. I think that's very important to remember. All the things they get away with. This is a funny story. I just think, look, it's serious because what if it was something worse? And we all know what the Secret Service probably did with it. All right, we've heard of their history of partying. Do we trust them? I don't know. But someone's keeping Joe Biden safe, I guess. This is good, I think.
But you mentioned earlier Hunter Biden and of course some Newsmax hosts. The top tier of investigative journalism immediately jumped to that theory as well. So let's watch.
It got there or whose it is, but it appears that cocaine has been found at the White House. And it wouldn't be a thumping July 4th weekend without Hunter Biden ripping lines off of a bust of Teddy Roosevelt. A mysterious white powder was discovered in the West Wing on Sunday, prompting a hazardous materials call to the fire department. I wish I was making this up, but it's true. Newsmax can confirm the powder is presumed by the fire department to be cocaine. It was sent to a lab for further analysis. Hunter, I can tell you, was at the White House on Friday, leaving with his father for Camp David. Sadly, he may have forgotten his party favors, which is unfortunate. Imagine having to hang out with Joe Biden for 4 days sober. Now that's a long weekend.
Okay, a lot of gross things about that segment, but I have to say I'm viscerally angry that at the start of it, he said a thumping weekend and not a bumping weekend. It was right there. The cocaine joke wrote itself and you messed it up. Somehow you messed it up still. But in a strange turn of events, a Fox News anchor was actually the one to call out this blaming Hunter Biden behavior. So let's take a look at that as well.
Social media starts making fun, bringing up Hunter's name. It's not funny.
No,
and I think there was a lot of cheap shots taken at Hunter Biden. He's a recovering addict. Nobody wants to see him regress or slip back into addiction. And I think that the social media comments were just very tasteless on this whole story.
I agree with everything she said, except for that nobody wants to see him slip back into addiction. There is an entire wing of the Republican Party who is cheering for that very thing to happen, obsessing over that very thing happening. But I mean, at the end of the day, Francesca, my question about this story is, when am I going to be able to get my cocaine back?
I love the concern trolling of that woman. Like, this is not about Hunter Biden, who, if he did relapse, I think that we really need to do something about it. Like, you do not care. You don't care. You're doing this on purpose to be like, it's serious, and it's like, I wish, this generally makes me think yeah, Coke stories are kind of funny, but also Coke's awful. It is straight up it's blood drugs, you know what I'm saying? And this is not on, being harder on coming down on the border and all the traffickers. No. This is about drug policy, you know what I mean? And if we truly, look, the fact is that if this Coke were found on a black or brown person in, the middle of Chicago, there would be it would never make headlines, but that person's life would be ruined. So, just a lot to say about this. It is funny. I do think that it was a nice try, and I am very surprised that gentleman from Newsmax wakes up every morning and puts on a suit and a tie, and in his best Peter Jennings voice, imagine having to deal with Biden sober. That dude does Coke.
Right. Imagine having to be a Newsmax host sober. I don't think
that's exactly right.
You're exactly right though about the concern trolling, because that Fox News is the network that's been cheering on the war on drugs since its inception. Don't pretend that you give a singular, care about, actually helping people who are addicted and all. Let's be realistic about the policies they've been pushing on Fox News and the substance abuse happening off camera at Fox News. It's an open secret.